me as we talk all things true crime.
Made contact and shattered.
The missing 4-year-old. The parents have called in and the mother has went through a wall, came home, now they can't find her.
Chad, where are Lori's kids? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say?
4 were stabbed multiple times and were likely asleep during the attack. Some had defensive wounds.
Most of them had just like one that was the lethal stab wound.
Oh, what a tangled web we weave. Once I told a lie, and I told my family, I had to keep lying.
What's your name? Is it Dean?
We haven't cleared anybody.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for being here. We are doing another series into our Kohberger deep dives. We haven't discussed the Dylan Mortensen interview that came out. I am using a pen tonight. I just needed an excuse to use this cool pen. I noticed in our last live stream we did when we were listening to NK's interview that I was taking notes on my phone, but like it looked like I was just like texting on my phone. So I just figured tonight with Dylan's interview, I will just write my notes out and my thoughts and things that stand out to me so that when Jay and I pause it or at the end of her interview, we can kind of discuss things that stood out to me. So I have yet to hear this interview. And let me ask Jay, he's here as well. Have you heard this one yet?
Sorry, I was in the studio. I don't know what you were asking.
This interview from Plunder, you're totally fine. Hold on, let me pull it up. That might actually help. And I'm curious if chat has seen it. Plunder put it out 2 weeks ago today. So the last interview we did of Dylan was only like 6 minutes long. And then like we did another week stream where we talked about this case and we talked about how it'd been mentioned in the documents that she had more than one interview. So we were kind of awaiting this one. And then Plunder, if you guys want to listen to the video without us kind of commentating on it, then check out Plunder's. She's got it. This pretty much, I think, is around like 26 minutes-ish. So I don't know if you've heard it. Let me see what chat's saying.
I've not.
Cindy has. Okay, cool. Excellent. Hey, Adrian, Punksy, EE Caroline. Good to see you guys. Okay. So some people have, some people haven't. Either way, I have not. So, hey, Johnny, this is going to be just like a live reaction and also for you as well. So that'd be cool. Because that's the thing about this case. Like if we're going to keep digging into it, like I'm going to do it live with you guys. Then I can kind of like make use of my time. Like, because, you know, we are all kind of, in a way, I'm kind of satisfied that he's behind bars and it's not like this whole mystery, but at the same time, like there is like that mystery aspect. And I don't know if you've seen this. Actually, we talked about it. The Lifetime movie.
Yes. I have mixed feelings about that.
Oh, I'd love to hear. Hold on. Let me pull up like this little clip. I haven't seen this either. Did you see the Goncalves were on Ashley Banfield?
I haven't seen this, no. I've been quite busy, so I'm kind of slacking, but at least I can save all my natural reactions to the live.
That's what I was thinking too, because all this stuff was kind of coming out. This came out 2 days ago, and I was like, you know what? I'll just save it for Friday, and then we can all do it together. Because that's the other thing is a lot of stuff, you know, going on for us. And this case kind of will drop bits here and there. Either way, this is the Goncalves' reaction to the Lifetime movie.
As new information comes out about the actual case, there's this information about the dramatic version of the case. Lifetime plans to, you know, drop a movie in their Ripped from the Headlines series. They've even hired the lead actor. No one walks in your shoes again, and I'm just wondering what it's like for you to hear that news.
Yeah, it's really angering, honestly, from my side. My sisters they're not a headline, they're not a Lifetime movie. And I get incredibly frustrated at the scripted aspect of it, right? We've experienced this in real time, and it's very, very much far from something that is specifically made for an entertainment purpose. I think that that's the part that's the hardest for me to get over.
Did they reach out to your family and ask for you to be consultants or part of the process?
Oh, absolutely not. No, we have not been. When you saw the article is when we saw the article. So we didn't have any inside information on that.
I guess the flip side of that is, would you have wanted to be, just to ensure as much accuracy in your sister's story as possible?
I personally don't want to be a part of anything that's strictly for an entertainment purpose. So while I would have appreciated them reaching out for what that stands for, I wouldn't have taken part in something that is a scripted, fictional, dramatic reenactment of our and my sister's real life.
Any chance you would consider legal action? Some people actually sue for life rights if they're not paid for life rights.
I think you want to take that, Olivia?
Yeah, I really don't know. Honestly, like, we're not, very sue happy people, and the benefit of that, I don't really know, because it's almost like whack-a-mole. Like you get one down and it, 4 others pop up, and it's almost like, where's that line drawn? At this point, we've had how many documentaries, we've had how many books, we've had how many articles. So, while we don't agree with it, I don't know if it's something that we would ever, take legal action over.
Yeah. The other side of the coin is the true story details. You don't even know them all yet, and they keep dropping, like that video that I don't know why I found it so jaw-dropping when I saw the video of the killer hours after his crime, wandering about his day into Costco, out of Costco, into Albertsons, and I was immediately brought to you, and I wondered how you digested that. Steve, what was it like when you saw that?
Creepy to see that guy, the way he walks and moves. It's just unnatural to my eyes. I could see why a lot of girls could pick up on that vibe very quickly. Yeah, it's disturbing to know that was just afterwards, and you want to analyze every action that he did before and after, and yeah, it's hard to watch that.
Besides the fact that it's just like Lifetime to kind of jump on this thing so quickly, I mean, the plea deal just took place and they've already announced the movie on it. It's just kind of like cringe.
Yeah, I mean, it reeks of opportunism, you know what I mean? And at least let the dust settle. Of course, I know it's going to happen. It was always going to happen. It happens with every big case, It's just the reality of the world we live in, and the reality of the media and entertainment, But I rarely have I seen a Lifetime movie about murders that has been done, I think, tastefully. I think there's always an element of they're trying to maybe amp up elements of sexuality, maybe have gratuitous violence that actually wasn't what really happened, or even if was, you know what I mean? And the whole process can be re-traumatizing for the victims' families, and the people in the town itself, and who are connected to it, even second hand, you know what I mean? So that whole thing, but obviously, like she said, like, they're not sue happy. They understand, like, these are rights of expression. But I think what she's just really asking, and I think what the Goncalves are asking, is that they be delicate with it. But I think that they have justified skepticism regarding that they're going to do that, because we all know what Lifetime movies are like.
Yeah, and the issue also, like, with JonBenet Ramsey, they did a Lifetime movie. With Scott Peterson and the Watts, they did. The Watts one came out like 2020, I believe.
I didn't like
And
it.
yeah, and then but the thing about the Watts one is like you have like we got the second confession in early 2019. So it was like still soon after, in my opinion. Like not as soon as this Kohberger one, but I feel like the Kohberger one, like they mentioned in that interview there, like there was so many more documentaries like before the plea deal. Well, because everything kind of was like dragged out. And like another reason why I feel like there was always going to be a plea deal, and they just like drag this thing out for like opportunistic reasons, I think.
I agree. I think they cashed in as well. I think honestly, if you're going to do a comprehensive documentary, you've got to wait for the dust to settle before you can actually analyze the whole situation. You need to wait for the outcome. You know what I mean? Like it's really jumping the gun, you know, and that's the problem. We live in a world and an age where it's cash in, strike while the iron's hot. You know what I mean? And that's what media has become, sadly. And I guess it always has been, but it's more prevalent, more, you know, openly kind of exploitative in the way it does it now, and kind of reckless in who it harms and who it upsets, you know.
Yeah, and the other issue too is, at least in the Peterson one, like the Lifetime movie went along with the theory in the trial. Like we don't really have much to go off of, specifically in the Kohberger one. Like, yes, in the Watts one, but at least they could come listen to his like prison interview that was like 3+ hours and maybe come up with a script from that. But like, where are they coming up with a movie? Like I think I said to you last week after our Kohberger Live, I was like, I really want to know more about like his mother, and like not so much his childhood, because we heard about his like teen years and stuff, but more like early, and like just the way his mom is. Like I want more information on. And I just feel like now what pictures is Lifetime going to paint as far as like that aspect? Because you know they're going to cover like when he was growing up, some scene, you know what I mean? And it's like people are going to mesh this fake story with facts or like just unknowns and run with it.
Yeah, I think, you know, bizarrely, I think in his warped mind that he thinks that they'll come to him. You know what I mean? And hey, they might. You know what I mean? It's happened before. It's happened before when they've gone to the actual killer and asked them to, you know, give their version of events in more detail. You know what I mean? And he might do it. You know what I mean? But I think ultimately anything that he says will be aimed at making him look, as in his mind, as impressive as possible, when in reality he messed up, he bungled his first job, and he, you know, like what we said last time, his persona is that it's a persona. Nothing about him is original by any means. You know what I mean? That whole mummy dearest trope is so overplayed, you know what I mean, and so overdone. And like you said, of course they're going to lean into that, because any scent of that, that's a good line to go for. And I'm sure they're going to lean into the drug addiction angle as well, and maybe speculate as to why he had those issues. I could see that. I could see it being more about trying to paint the picture of him as opposed to the impact that it had on the families. I don't want it to be him focused, you know what I mean? Because it gives him that ego boost, you know what I mean?
Oh,
when it
yeah,
should
I'm
be on
sure
the
he
lives
already.
that he
I
took,
agree.
you know?
Yeah. I'm sure he heard the news and he's just like all excited about it.
Yeah, because in his mind, that makes him like his heroes. It gives him that, it legitimizes him in his mind that he's an important person, because only an important person would have such a thing made about them in his head.
Yep. And like just like Steve Goncalves was kind of reflecting on the footage that came out of Kohberger like hours after at Costco, like he's recognizing the same thing like we all have, and you can just see, and kind of goes into, because like I did that poll about should we discuss Ed Gein after the docu-series on Netflix, and after watching the whole docu-series, there's like a picture, that a real life black and white photo of him being arrested, or the day he was arrested, and he's showing them the crime scene, and like the look of all the detectives' faces. I think I want to post that, and the poll was kind of split, but more so people were just kind of like either they weren't watching it or they just weren't interested in the live stream. I feel like the officers' faces in that photo kind of speak for the whole case there. And Ed Keene and Kohberger, the way that they can compartmentalize is sort of what Goncalves was honing in on as well. Like just hours later, and just the way that he's just, which was something we kind of stated too, like he wasn't like pacey or anything like that. Like he was just cool as a cucumber, just walking in and out of Costco. And it's like, it just really shows you like his level of being able to compartmentalize.
Absolutely. And I think there's a certain type of person that can do that. People who have, you know, oftentimes thoughts and feelings that they, you know, don't want to let be known. So they're able to just completely shut off, you know, and go about that. And it makes them very, very dangerous because, you know, even, you know, I think most killers even would find being that way after their first, especially, near on impossible. You know, I think like from like what we were saying last time, from what I've heard from like Gary Ridgway, who was he was a strangler. He was, I forget, is it Greenboro Strangler, something like that. But yeah, he had a lot of victims, but he said on his first, it was his messiest and he nearly got caught. You know what I mean? So it's like, is it that kind of thing? You know, that it makes me think, you know, is it that kind of thing? Is he going to be portrayed that way? You know?
Yeah, he definitely falls in line with, I mean, this is one of the most notorious cases that we've ever looked into, and which is what makes Dylan's interviews like vital in understanding what took place that night, because without the trial, like we don't really have that, the theories of both sides, and then where can we find the truth, maybe somewhere in the middle sometimes, you know. So we are going to listen to this interview. Of course, interrupt me anytime you need to. I'm going to take some notes if I have to. I want to pause it like minimally, but of course, if you have something that you really want to say or, you know, interrupt, no problem. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So this is only like 26 minutes. We'll listen to this. And just like we listened to the survivor of the sorority house in the Ted Bundy case, you know, any type of case that we're going to study, like we have to listen to the people. Like she was going to be the eyewitness. Hey, Jen, no, and everyone else who joined, Scottish Queen. So yeah, she was going to be the eyewitness. So this is a very important aspect of the crime. We're not saying that Dylan's involved. I want to make that clear before we get the comments that are like, why are we even discussing the roommates anymore? It's ridiculous. It's like, are you kidding me? Like she would, trust me, she was very vital to the state's case.
Of course, they were there.
Exactly.
All right, my name is Lawrence.
Of course, there will be redactions.
Out of everybody, you actually spoke to the common way. You parents didn't go crazy on you? What's your middle initial? And what's your last name? What's your date of birth?
2003.
And what is a good phone number for you? Okay. You've got your phone with you, no worries?
Yeah.
Do you have any pictures, any video, anything like that? Any social media posts?
No.
Okay. And what's a good address for you?
Like,
just make somewhere. Where are you living right now? Are you here at the university? What house is that?
What do you mean?
Is that an apartment or a sorority?
It's a house.
Okay. I don't know the sorority, so I apologize. I don't even know if there's any, what's there.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me what you know.
Okay, so there was a Symphony High party, obviously, yes, we were drinking. I left to go to my friend's house.
When was that party?
I think I went there around like 10:30ish
Last night or this morning?
last night. And then I went to, and then me and my friend, and then Beth, right? And then we just all went to bed. Was the house we went to for a little bit, and then it was just me, like, who came home, and then later.
Okay.
She's a girl.
Okay. And are they all in the same place?
She has.
Okay. Okay. So you guys were there, you came home early,
Yeah.
and then eventually she went to her place. Where does she live?
She lives like down the street. I don't know exactly where it is. And then Maddie and Kaylee came home from the club. And then we all went to bed.
What time do you think you got home?
I think I got home around 12:30 to 1.
Okay.
Between there.
And then what time do you think you came home?
Like 10-20 minutes after I did.
Okay. And then Maddie and who else came from the club?
Kaylee, I think they came home like 1:32ish.
Okay. And at that point, nothing
Nothing weird at all.
Okay.
Then everyone's asleep at 4 a.m. I like look at my phone and I can hear Kaylee and Murphy like dancing because I can tell it's her voice and that it's Murphy because he's barking. And then I hear her go upstairs because you can hear like everything. And I heard her say, "There's someone here," and I thought she ran downstairs. And then I jumped up and locked my door because I didn't know what else to do.
Okay. So Kaylee and Murphy's her.
Murphy, so Kaylee and is Kaylee's ex-boyfriend. They share the dog pretty much.
And Murphy's the dog?
Yeah.
Okay. What is Kaylee's last name?
Goncalves.
Oh boy, spell that for me.
Gonclaves.
And is she here today?
No.
Was she one of the ones that was hurt?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, where is Kaylee's room compared to yours?
Like right above my
Straight above. What, are you on first, second?
Second.
And she's on third?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said that Kaylee and share Murphy?
Yeah. This.
And is Jack
Yeah.
current?
Yeah. He's ex right now.
Okay. Any problems between Kaylee?
No. Okay. They're really good, like friends still.
You still play with the dog and stuff like that?
Every now and then, yeah.
Okay. So, you hear Kaylee upstairs, she's dancing, playing with the dog, normal kind of thing, probably.
Yeah.
And then she says, "There's someone here."
Yeah, when she goes, I can hear her go upstairs, and then I think she's in her room, and she says that someone's here, and I can tell she's scared, and she runs downstairs.
Where do you think she ran?
I don't know if she made it past the stairs,
Okay.
or if it was in the living room.
Okay. But you heard her on the stairs.
Yeah, I heard her running like super fast down the stairs.
Okay.
And then I didn't open the door. I just called her name, and then I called Xana, Kaylee, and Logan on my phone. And then
What were those other names?
Xana, Maddie, Mogan is Maddie, and Kaylee.
Okay. Do you know what Xana's last name is?
Kernodle. Kernodle, I believe.
Okay. And what about Maddie?
Mogan, Mogen.
And Kaylee
Goncalves.
Goncalves. That's the same one. Okay.
Yeah.
Were these three friends?
Yeah, we're all roommates.
Okay. Who was sharing the room with Kaylee?
Kaylee and Logan are both upstairs. They don't share rooms.
They have their own rooms?
Yeah, we all have our own rooms.
Okay. So these two are up on the third.
Yeah.
Where's Xana?
It's my floor.
Your floor.
She's closest to the bathroom on my floor.
Bathroom. Okay. So Jen and Kaylee aren't an issue.
No, they're not at all.
What about for Xana or Maddie? Are there any guys that are an issue? Any girls that are an issue?
No, Maddie has a boyfriend in Boise, super nice.
Okay.
Xana is dating Ethan, who was in the room with her. They're really nice too.
Okay. I apologize. I don't know anybody's name or anything like that. So was Ethan, Xana, Maddie, and Kaylee all upstairs still? Are those the ones that got hurt?
Those are the ones that got hurt.
Okay.
And then the other girl that's here, she's on the first floor.
Okay. And was she the one in the yellow hoodie?
Yeah.
Okay. So she's over there. So anybody that would want to hurt Ethan or that's jealous of Ethan?
No.
Nothing like that?
No, I've never heard anything.
Any cars that were in the area that you can think of that wouldn't have been normal?
No, I wasn't really looking at that.
Okay. And you didn't see anybody come downstairs. Did you hear anything else?
No, I don't even know how they got in. We're usually pretty good about locking doors, and we've never had problems before. Like, it was just really random.
Okay. So you're getting home around 12:31.
Yeah.
You've got Maddie that comes home just shortly after that. Maddie comes home shortly after that. And then from that point, from about 2 to 4, did you fall asleep?
Yes, I fell asleep.
Okay.
And Kaylee also came home with Maddie at the same time from the club.
So between that time, obviously, you're not hearing anything. You had something to drink, so obviously you're going to sleep a little bit deeper, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you hear her. She says what she says. You hear her hitting the stairs. You open the door, cry out to her.
Yes.
And then you close the door because you're scared.
Yes.
Right? What happens at that point?
I opened the door again, and I heard what I thought was Kaylee crying in the bathroom, and I heard this man's voice say, "It's okay, I'm gonna help you," but it wasn't like in a nice way. Like, it was just weird, and it was a voice I've never heard before.
Okay.
And then I called out to her, and there was no crying after that. I don't really know what happened after that.
So when you opened the door, you thought you heard Kaylee crying in the bathroom?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it could have been Dana, but I thought it was Kaylee at the time.
Okay. I don't know if these questions are really helping because I'm just right over the top of them. And you said that you can't recognize the voice.
No. And then I opened the door again, and the guy is right there. And he's maybe my height, a few inches taller, not like skinny, athletic built. He has all black. He's wearing some masks that covers just his forehead and here, and it goes like around. He was white. He saw me and I saw him, and he just left. And he was holding, it looked like it was this, and this was black. And I didn't think that it was a gun, but now I'm thinking that it probably was. But I was just in and out of it. So I was so tired.
You say this.
Like, it was cylinder like this, and then it went straight out and then in. So I don't. Maybe.
Almost like a arrow, or?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
It was weird. I couldn't really. I call it like a mini vacuum. I don't really know what it was.
Okay. You say about your height. How tall are you?
I'm 5'10", so he's probably around 6 foot.
So he's gonna be average height.
Yeah.
Any of the girls at all in the house get any kind of freak weirdness going on the last couple of weeks that they talked about?
It's been all normal. Nothing weird at all.
No weird calls, no texts?
No, I mean, nothing really weird happens in Moscow usually.
Right? Okay, so, and I apologize, I keep backing up just a little bit, just because everything's gonna be jumbled up with you, and I totally get that.
Yeah.
So you hear her dancing,
Mhm.
you hear her say somebody's here, she goes It sounds like she goes to the stairs. You open the door, call to her, close the door, and then you go to open the door because you and hear her crying.
Yeah.
Or at least somebody.
Okay, I just have to pause it. Already, I feel like he's not only am I noting that like the order of things have already changed, and again, she's been through this like traumatic event, so I can only imagine that her exhaustion, like mentally. But like for him, I feel like he's even like repeating things back to her wrong. Like
yeah,
other than what she's stated, and then like she's just agreeing because she's mentally exhausted and stuff too. You know what I mean?
exactly. She's in an exhausted kind of traumatized state where she's already trying to process, not even begin to process what's just happened. And then there's this guy who, you know, only has a brief kind of summary of what happened. And then he's, you know, going through events incorrectly. And then she's going along with it because, like you said, she just wants to get out of there, I think.
And you know, there's like I wonder like how the interview could have gone if he repeated back to her like down the line of like exactly what she was saying, because it actually matters to what she's agreeing to, because in the PCA it stated things so differently already.
Exactly, and that's what can cause issues and can cause people to have questions when really he should have had this awareness of trauma and trauma responses and how best to kind of deal with someone in that state and get the best out of them interview wise.
Right. And it's just unfortunate because like I don't know, like if he was just better at this interview, then obviously it would have made a difference, I think. Hi Roxanne.
Absolutely. Hi.
Might not have been her. And then, did you close the door and then reopen it before you saw him?
Yeah, I closed it before I reopened it and saw him.
From the time that you heard her say there's somebody here to the time that you saw him, how much time do you think?
I don't know, I think it was like around 10, 20 minutes. Okay. I mean, I was really out of it. Everything was kind of blurry. Like I don't fully remember it, I would say.
Okay. So help me figure out where, like I said, I haven't been into the building. Where would if this is a safe layout of it, where would your apartment be?
Okay, so.
Or your room, I should say.
I guess like to the doors right here.
This is the apartment or that hall?
It's like a house.
Okay.
It's a whole house. Then there's stairs that go up diagonally like this.
Okay.
Living room. You're looking at the living room. To the right is the bathroom and Dana's room. Right in front of you is my room and the stairs.
On the second floor, right?
Yes.
So you've got the stairs that are here on the second floor. You've got the bathroom here.
Bathroom and Dana's room around here.
Okay.
My rooms that are like right in front of it.
Okay.
And there's a kitchen.
So this is the kitchen.
Then there's stairs that go up to the second floor.
Okay. So that's up.
And then Katie's room is on, going up the stairs. Katie's room is on the left.
Up top, right?
Yes, up top. Okay. And Maddie's room is on the right. And there's also a bathroom next to Maddie's room.
So your door faces the stairs going down to the bottom?
It faces more, like you can see them when you look up, but it's not totally facing. It's more like facing like this.
Okay. So your door's more over on the side?
Yeah. And then I could see like the window door that slides open back there.
So if you opened your door, where was he at?
In between my door and the kitchen.
Okay.
And I saw him go out the door, I believe.
Out the kitchen door?
Yeah, and I just remember saying like, no, and I shut the door and locked it as fast as I could.
Okay. So is there a deck out back?
It's like just cement and there's like no fence, so I guess anyone could come in on there.
So is the bottom floor kind of like a daylight basement? So you can come in that floor and then you can get out the back up one?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So 5'10", all black. Could you see what color his eyebrows were or anything like that?
No, okay. I don't remember what his eyes look like either.
Okay. He didn't say anything to you?
I mean, I saw his eyes and he saw me, but he didn't walk towards me and didn't see anything,
Okay.
which I found really weird.
But didn't recognize eyes. Definitely a white guy?
Yeah, definitely a white guy.
Okay. Any smells, anything like that that would be weird?
Mm-mm.
After he left, what happened?
I called me and it was like I heard a sound like a firework and I didn't like put two and two together. And so I told her like I called everyone, they're not answering. And I'm in and out of it. I don't think anything of it. I just think everyone's asleep. And I go to her room, we lock the door, and just go to bed.
Okay.
And then this morning, it's like 11 or 12, and we're calling everyone, and no one's waking up. And we have like a really bad feeling. So I called Dano's room, and he said, you need to call the cops right now.
Okay.
He wouldn't let us see what happened because he didn't want us to see.
Totally.
Yeah.
Your house, co-ed?
Just girls.
Okay. And, right?
So Xana is on the same floor as me. First floor. Mogan and Keely are the third floor.
Okay. That's what I'm messing up. Okay. Didn't hear a car start up? Nothing like that after the fact?
No.
And then no one, has anybody seen anything on any social media posts?
No.
Anybody talking about anything?
No.
Okay. Okay. At the 6th party, anything weird, strange, not normal? Anybody get angry with anybody? Anybody?
No, it was just normal. Like everyone seemed fine. Xana and Ethan were with me. And it was totally normal.
Okay.
Like there was nothing weird or out of place or suspicious.
Nobody hooked up that might have a boyfriend that wouldn't be pissed off at him or something?
No.
Okay. All right. Anything else you can think of that I should know?
All that I really know was me saying that there was like a lot of boom, but I didn't hear it.
Okay.
And I don't really know how I didn't because I was on that floor.
You were just right below it, right?
Well, below me and Xana and me on the same floor. So like Xana and me the same floor.
Oh, I get you.
Down here. And
So Xana's in between the bathroom and the kitchen?
yes, pretty much. There's like a wall and there's kitchen, Xana's room, bathroom.
Okay. Anybody else on your floor?
No.
And then downstairs on the first,
Yes.
and then up on the third was, I just know with you.
Kaylee and Maddie.
Katie and Maddie, those are both on the third.
Yeah.
Similar layout where one bedroom's over the other.
Yeah, so Kaylee's room was here, bathroom in the corner, and then Mogan's room.
Okay. So Morgan would be over Xana's room?
Yes.
Ish?
I would think so.
Okay.
And I guess Kay would be above my room, I'm thinking.
So Xana is on your floor, but she was upstairs with Kaylee and Morgan.
No, she was in her room.
She was in her room?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Ethan was in
Her room?
Xana's room as well.
Okay. So two of them there, then two of them on third.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Okay. I'm going to give you this just in case you think of anything else, which is totally normal.
Okay.
To just have things fly in from out of nowhere. You'll see a box of French fries and think of something.
Yeah.
Who knows what will trigger it.
Okay.
Obviously, you guys have some resources on campus, like the CTC, right?
Yeah.
Take totally full advantage of that.
Okay.
All right. This is not a normal thing. This is not something that you can just power through usually on your own.
Yeah.
So definitely take the help. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us, obviously. I don't know who's going to be the actual lead investigator, but obviously if you call and say, my name is so-and-so, I talked to, Detective Maury, and they'll patch you through whoever we need to.
Okay.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. I thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
Okay.
Okay. If you do get any weird text messages, calls, you think that somebody is behind you, following you, just do whatever you need to do to make yourself safe.
Okay.
Okay. Don't think that you're going crazy. Don't do anything like that. There's no reason to take chances.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I was taking some notes. Did you want to say anything before I read through my notes?
Sure. I think he could have done a lot better with that. I really think you dropped the ball there, and they could have been a lot more understanding and compassion, and having. I think you should have also, like what I said earlier, had a prior understanding of the events, because it's just he's not getting names right, going over the story incorrectly, and it just it can make her look bad, and it makes people question her. You know what I mean? And I understand there's valid questions, but it just adds to it. And like what I've seen some comments saying, if that interview was just out alone at the time, it would have been a disaster with all the media at her,
Oh, I know. And apparently, so this was the day, like the same day as like the body cams that we've been watching. So day one.
Yeah.
And I really hope, because I don't believe that guy was FBI. I mean, I would hope not.
Oh yeah, I think that they are a lot sharper. They always seem to know everything in advance before they come to speak to you.
Yeah, exactly. Just the basics. And that's the thing too, is like, yes, he didn't even know the names of the victims. But he also didn't even know the locations of the victims. Like, even if you just labeled them in your mind, victim 1, 2, 3, 4, like, know where they're at.
Yeah, exactly. And how is he gonna piece together events and help her put it together when he doesn't know this basic essentials? Because you need the basic essentials to form out the events, the version of events that we're going to go with, and we're going to try and accept as the truth. And none of that was done. So yeah, I don't think he was FBI.
Hey Seth, hey everybody in chat. Yeah, so I also noted, because first, speaking of order of events that she stated, right off the bat, she said Kaylee was downstairs dancing with Murphy, and then she went upstairs and said somebody's here, and then she said she came back downstairs, like she heard running, and when she came downstairs or whatever, she locked her door, and then he repeats it back. So Kaylee was upstairs dancing with the dog, and she's like, and I'm like, this is her, technically this is her second interview, because the first one is like on body cam, and people have, like you said, pointed out like inconsistencies, but it's like these inconsistencies could have been ironed out much better with a better grasp of like the information, because even when the PCA goes out, this stuff is, the statements are different than what Dylan has stated on the interviews that we've seen. So in the PCA, it says that she heard crying from the bathroom and thought it was Xana. In this interview, she like clarified, like, at the time I thought it was Kaylee. And then she's kind of like second guessing what she was hearing and said, but I guess it could have been Xana. But it's just like, they stated it as like it was Xana in the bathroom crying in the PCA, and then I have yet to hear anything about bushy eyebrows.
Exactly. Yes, neither of that. And I think they should have had some kind of like someone who was either trained at handling people who are processing trauma, or some kind of like psychiatrist there or something, to help direct the officer on how best to go about piecing together the version of it. Because like I said, and like we keep saying, She hasn't even processed it yet, and I still don't think they have. You know, because how can you?
Right, especially without the full line of evidence that we've all needed to see at a trial. He also didn't know Xana's location specifically, like when they were trying to iron that out and like where her room was. Never mind like the rooms. Like he still like was having a hard time figuring out where Xana was. And it was interesting too because it was like talking about what her view is of everything like outside her room and stuff. And I noted that, hold on, let me find it because my notes are all over the place. She never mentioned seeing Xana laying on the floor, like before running down to Bethany. Because then she said something about Hunter came over and saw and told them to call 911, and like he didn't want them to see what he saw. But she's leaving out the fact that we know because of another interview in her statement that she said she saw Xana laying on her back in her underwear and sweatshirt and just thought she was drunk. So it's like, why are certain things not being said, I guess? You know what I mean? Like, no, again, this isn't saying that Dylan's involved. Like, I'm before we get all that, those comments and stuff, but it's just like, I'm just wondering like why that wasn't stated.
I agree as well. I think it's an essential part of the events of what happened, you know, and it's crucial in piecing together exactly the order of events and how it transpired, you know what I mean, and trying to get, you know, a timeline together of from entry to departure and when everyone was roughly attacked, you know, and that's crucial to that. So yeah, I agree. This type of thing is exactly why there are questions, not because we're accusatory, not because we're like evil or trying to be salacious for attention or clicks or views or whatever. It's because there are genuine questions that weren't addressed or answered that should have been a lot earlier, that would have eliminated all this.
Right, exactly. And like, these are just my notes. These are just things that have stood out to me. This isn't to accuse Dylan. It's just simply me noting that so far, like, she hasn't mentioned that in the body cam or this interview. And like you said, the timeline of events, like if things could be more consistent, it could help. And another thing I noticed is she said they woke up at 11 and called everybody and nobody was answering. So then they called Hunter, and we know that the 911 call comes in at noon. So it's like, what were they doing for an hour? Just calling them over and over?
Yeah, I mean, that is another area that creates a lot of questions, you know, like personally, I'm very alert and want to know exactly what's going on where I am and be hyper aware and I just how I am, survival techniques, whatever, being streetwise, I suppose, coming from where I come from. But whatever it is, yeah, I would be instantly wanting to figure out and understand what's going on, why, and if, you know, I got to the bottom of it a lot quicker, I think I would, and not hesitate to raise the alarm, you know, and like what we've asked ourselves before, why is that? You know what I mean? And like we thought maybe it was because they had some substances there that they've been taking for a party or whatever, and they were worried, or maybe they overthought it and thought, you know, they get in trouble for raising the alarm and they didn't realize how bad it really was yet. And, you know, there's a lot of possibilities, you know, I'm not entirely sure at all. Do you have any theories?
No, it's like Dylan had already seen her laying on her back, like before she even got down there. So it's like they aren't hearing from anybody. It just is, I'm just wondering, I really hope like there's interviews with FBI who, not even to attack Dylan or Bethany, but to basically ask these questions like, okay, so you woke up at 11, no one was answering. Why'd you wait till 1 to call? or like what were you doing in the between the time of calling them at 11 and you know what I mean? Like just if we could just kind of place this whole, you know, there's gaps. There's huge gaps. And then she brings up again that Bethany heard the firecracker noise or this loud bang. And we know from the PCA that it notes that the neighbor's camera had heard a loud thud. So I've always wondered if that was like the same as the bang that was heard.
Quite possibly. Do you have any idea about what that could have been?
I've had theories, but when he asked her if you heard a car starting or, you know, getting away, she said no. I was kind of thinking that I don't think it would be like the backfire of a vehicle because like I feel like you would have maybe heard like the gas or even maybe the start of some engine that was like gonna backfire and mouth because that's what it is. It's just like a spark plug or something.
Nothing was recovered in the area like a flare or something because I know, and this is kind of absurd, but it did come into my head. Maybe it's not so absurd, but like he might have thrown like a flare or something after he did it, or something that a smoke grenade or something. You know, it's like a green one because he's like the Joker, because he sees himself like the Joker. You know what I mean, or something like that. Like. Was it that, or as a distraction, even through something like a smoke grenade or a firework? But then again, it would have been found. But would a firework have been, you know, seen by the police and taken seriously? You know what I mean? When it's an area where people might be lighting them off. You know what I mean? Like, would a cop on the day after at the scene see a firework and go, "That's something of interest"? No, probably not. So, like,
yeah,
I just don't know what it could be because I don't think he brought a gun with him. I really don't. As if he was going to do that, he could have gotten if he wanted to shoot them, he could have gotten a gun with a silencer and taken them all out quietly, and no one would have been the wiser till the very next day. But he didn't do that because he wanted to feel it. Because with a gun, it's usually from a distance. So I think it's to do with his sadism that he wanted to be up close and see it in their eyes, the terror, the fear, the pain. I think that's what got him off. So like that's why I don't think he even had, maybe for protection, but I think she probably saw like a knife or a sheath of a knife.
Yeah, that's interesting that you brought up like the flare gun. Like what if it was a flare gun that she had
possible seen? Very possible. You know, like he might have, you know, again, like fired it as a, you know, distraction, you know, but then it lends to a theory of maybe he had someone waiting for him and that was a signal to say it's done. That's a possibility.
Exactly.
You know, it's because I don't see why you'd fire a flare or set a firework off or make a loud noise if you're on your own. You know what I mean? Like,
right. And if he's trying to get out of there, why would he go out of his way to make like a huge sound?
Yeah, to attract attention, because otherwise, like that leads me to what I said. Like, I think he may have just now. Like, I always thought maybe there was some other cursory involvement from someone else, not in the actual commissioning of the murders themselves, but in the either the preparation before or after, that he had aid from someone in some capacity. And I think that may have taken the form of a getaway driver. And I think that's what that was. Now,
ooh, see, that's the thing is like people without a trial, without everything laid out, and without even his full like Celebrate report, you know, like we still haven't seen like certain aspects of his like digital footprint and stuff in this case. And no one, just like other cases that have plea deals, you really can't say what 100% happened because there's not that, you know, the medical examiners given their opinions on both sides like that. Those things are vital in understanding the crime too. And we just don't have that. And I don't even think we have. There's no like nothing was ever explained about that gas station footage of that white car speeding off. Remember? It was like some image that they kept putting out there in the beginning of the investigation.
Yeah, that was like another seemingly like it went nowhere. Like it was hyped up, and then we didn't get. I don't think we got I never saw an update on it.
Yeah, and but they kept, the media and the law enforcement kept feeding to us that like they were sure that that was the car and all this stuff. And it was like, okay, I guess we'll wait and see. And they kept saying in their statements before Kohberger was arrested, the occupants of that vehicle, and people were like, do they mean like plural? Like everything can still be on the table with possibilities in this case, I feel.
Of course, because like you say, it's the plea deal situation makes it like what, where it's like we have so many questions that aren't going to be answered. So all we have to do is speculate unless we can hope that maybe someday someone somewhere gets caught or breaks ranks and spills the beans, you know.
And I feel like it was interesting also when she was saying that she saw him walking towards the sliding door and she remembered saying outside, no, 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 and locked it, like her door. I thought that was interesting too. Like, what was she saying no about?
Yeah. Another thing, we could keep going. We could go on all day, you know.
I know. I got that like in my notes too, because like I'm just like, and nobody could possibly know the answer to that, you know, except like Dylan. And maybe she could have been asked that on the stand, and like maybe we could have understood everything better, or maybe it just wouldn't have made a difference. But for me, like I just like noted something. I was like, what, you know, what would have made her say that out loud and then lock the door? It just was interesting. Like over and over, she was locking her bedroom door too. Like,
yes, like almost kind of ritualistically. Yeah, it is. There's so many interesting questions that can be raised, and then you kind of feel like you're getting somewhere with one, and then it spawns a bunch of others. It's like it's just like so many other cases. It's just like a wheel that goes round and round and round, and you never get off it, you know. And hopefully someday, somehow, a lot of these cases that we look into, the families, the victims' families, and the public at large can get some level of transparency. Hopefully, maybe someday there can be some reform in the system where no matter what, there is some kind of inquest or public inquiry at least, you know, so there's some answers that can be questions that can be answered, because, you know, very least in the trial, you know, we get the timelines and we'd get some explanation as to why that hour took place, you know what I mean, why that, like what was going on during then, and a lot of other things that we need to know, you know what I mean. Like I want, you know, to confirm, did he visit the restaurant that they worked at, you know what I mean, and is that how they first came to his attention, and was this him stalking them from there, you know, and an obsession that spawned from afar, you know, or is it something that he just heard and saw that they had parties one night, or just did it, you know, scoped them out one day and selected them, you know. It's so many questions.
I know. I feel like his obsession with Bundy, I think this was like to mimic Bundy's like night in that sorority house.
Yes, that's exactly it. It's like what I say, there's nothing original about him at all. He's taking these tropes off other guys, and like I think being an addict and having his weight issues and other issues socially growing up, I think that he's, you know, seeing these people as being powerful and strong, you know what I mean, and try to shape his personality to be in line with them. And there's nothing original about it at all. So like I think his fellow killers, I think, would probably look down upon him. Really, I think those guys would look down upon him if they were still alive, and look at him as an imitator.
Right.
A copycat.
He literally was a poser in the criminology world, like acting like he wanted to fight crime, and then turned out to be just like a poser copycat killer.
Exactly. There is nothing real or genuine about anything he did. You know, he's like his killing, his serial killing was motivated and influenced by someone else. So a degree of fraud and disingenuousness in his reasons to motivate. They're motivated out of emulating someone else, out of being a fraud, a fake and imitator. And also, in, like you say, the true crime world, his studies, what the face he was presenting himself, it was all just to learn, trying what not to do, but in the end got himself caught with his first act.
I know, it's crazy. And it's crazy and yet not crazy, because we see killers get caught for stupid reasons all the time. So this I wanted to play quick, like it's just 7 minutes, but I'm going to do it at a little bit faster speed. But it pretty much, I thought, with Dylan's statements that we kind of went over, I feel like listening to the Ted Bundy survivor of the sorority night would be interesting. So this was something recent, actually, because she put out a book. So she's promoting her book, but it's also her recounting like that night.
Levy. Kathy Kleiner Rubin is the definition of a survivor. She was diagnosed with lupus as a teen. She's a breast cancer survivor, and she survived being attacked by Ted Bundy. I spoke with Rubin at CrimeCon about her new book and the attack that made her one of the ultimate survivors. She described what happened on Sunday, January 14th, 1978, after she went to bed.
Next remembered is a noise where someone had tripped over something in my room. And I looked up and I couldn't see anything. It was all dark. And all I saw was a figure standing next to me holding up a log or something in his arm. He had his arm lifted up and something was in it. The next thing I remember is he slammed that on my face. At first, it didn't hurt. It felt like hitting a bag of potatoes. It was a thud. It didn't last that way for long, because then it was shooting pains and it was horrible. It was horrible. He hit me in my jaw and broke my jaw in 2 places. He broke my chin so that it had to be wired shut so that it would heal, and also cut a gash in my face. And I'm still numb in my face and lip.
That night forever changed Rubin. She was a student at Florida State University and a member of the Chi Omega sorority in Tallahassee.
Did he say anything to you? Did you say anything? Did you fight back?
No, didn't say anything. It happened so quickly. And after I was attacked the first time, he went to my roommate and attacked her. And then I was still alive. In my head, I was screaming and yelling, but all I was doing was making gurgling sounds because my tongue had almost been bit off and there was so much blood around me and in me, and my face was sticky. And I was just not aware of what happened. But when he came over the second time, I made myself into the smallest little ball I could be, because I thought, well, if he can't see me, he won't hit me. The next thing I remember is a bright light shining in the bedroom. My bedroom faced the back of the house over the parking lot. So someone was brought home a date from in the backyard. In the back, he came up the back driveway. The light shone in our room. We had our curtains open. And when that happened, this person got real jittery and kind of paced back and forth and then ran out the door. And then the light went down. It was dark in the room again.
2 of Rubin's sorority sisters, Lisa Levy and Margaret Bowman, were killed that night. Rubin and 2 of her roommates survived.
My roommate actually got out of bed and went into the hallway, and she saw 2 sorority sisters. And they walked her back into our room and opened up the light. And that's when they saw me hurtled in my bed, just boldly scared and rocking up and down.
Exactly 1 month later, on February 15th, news broke that police had captured Ted Bundy. He would later admit to raping and killing 30 women. The FBI had been searching for Bundy after he escaped from police custody in Utah in 1977, which allowed him to attack more women, including Rubin.
It was a couple of weeks before they caught him leaving the state of Florida. And then it was a couple of weeks after that we heard, they had a suspect. And I was just didn't want to get too excited because, the first suspect isn't always the first one and the right one. So I didn't want to get excited in case it was just someone they had arrested. When I did find out it was Ted Bundy, I wasn't familiar with his background and what he had done out on the West Coast. So I was kind of not knowing, and my parents shaded me and protected me a lot about what had happened.
Rubin came face to face with the monster who attacked her before his trial and during.
And he was very smug, and he had a blue jacket on, and just like we were wasting his time. So I was asked questions by the defense and the prosecutors, each time. So that was time for me to leave. And I almost threw up when I left the room because I wasn't afraid of him. I was just afraid of the situation. and that hopefully we got it right and got the right one. And then I did have to testify at the trial, and I was in the jury box, in the box for the testimony. And I looked around the courtroom, and there he was sitting at the defense table, again like this, and like real cocky, like this, wasting my time again. This isn't going to be anything. I'm going to get out of this. And I gave my testimony. And one thing that I was really upset about was they asked if this is the man you saw in your room that night. And I had to say, I don't know, because I didn't see his face. And I wanted so bad to help convict him, but my testimony couldn't do that.
One of Rubin's sorority sisters identified Ted Bundy as her attacker. He was convicted and sentenced to death. Ted Bundy died in the electric chair in 1989. Now Kathy Kleiner Rubin is telling her story in her new book, A Light in the Dark, Surviving More Than Ted Bundy, co-written with Emily LeBeau-Lachesse.
It is my story with my traumas and tribulations. And the main thing is it just debunks Bundy as the charming guy next door. And we talk about all his deviant behavior.
Rubin also writes about the many women victimized by Ted Bundy, most not as fortunate to have survived.
Because being a victim and having my voice and my story told, it bothered me that they never had the chance, that they were all young and taken away from us so soon. And, they wanted to do things and they wanted to be things. And I wanted to give them a voice.
Bundy has sometimes been described as charming and charismatic in the media. That's a perception that Rubin would like to change. She hopes her book inspires others.
I go to detail on how it wasn't, how he was very manipulative and he wanted people to see what he wanted to see. But then he had a demon inside of him and the deviant behavior that he couldn't control or didn't want to control. So that's, it was just two-sided. And I think also in the 70s was the first time that trials allowed cameras. And he looked normal, although he was so not normal that people didn't see his horns and his fangs.
So I thought that was interesting, considering us kind of linking him being a copycat of Ted Bundy, like a wannabe, with the whole sorority house and all that. So that was kind of like an interesting perception, because she was saying how once she got hit in the face, she thought she was screaming, like in her head she's screaming, but all that was coming out was gurgling. And I just kind of thought of obviously the victims in Idaho. And it's just, this case is just horrific, pretty much. But I appreciate you coming on. Anything you wanted to add about the Bundy survivor?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, and absolutely. I think that she's a very, very brave woman. I can't imagine the amount of trauma that she's gone through that type of experience, nearly having a tongue bitten out. You know what I mean? The guy was a wild animal. I didn't know that he was like that. You know what I mean? Like some kind of cannibal. You know what I mean? Like a complete, animal, you know what I mean, like sick, so good on them for having the strength to write about him and what he did, you know what I mean, and dispel the myth that he was this charming guy, and the parallels between the two cases are evident, you know what I mean. So I stand confident on my assertion that this was a copycat act.
I totally agree. And thank you everyone in chat, everyone that hit the like button, and thank you to my mods. Yeah, I have early ballet and tap dance class to get my little one ready for. So that's why I'm just going to do this kind of short live stream tonight and on Friday nights. And I hope you guys join me Sunday night for Watt's live stream. I don't know if I'll be live tomorrow night. I thought maybe of doing the Amy Bradley updates, but we will see. So stand by for that. Thanks everyone for being here. And thank you, Jay, again. So bye.
Thank you so much. See ya.